remember the first time I gave a workshop, but I've been teaching animation and illustration since about 1991. I've given workshops in America, Russia, right across Europe, the UK and Ireland. Yeah, and I always enjoyed teaching. I think it's always useful because as an illustrator, you work on your own, and you don't talk to anybody. It's 12 hours a day. You're there 7 days a week, and you're teaching. And suddenly you say something out loud that you've never said out loud before, even though you've thought it a million times. Yeah, and when you say these things out loud, suddenly you start questioning yourself as well. So it's an education. When computers first arrived, it could do a lot of things very simply that it was very difficult to do analog. So, I mean, creating flat color was very difficult before the computer. Creating perfect gradients was impossible before the computer. The thing to remember is that before the computer, we had to hand draw all these things. We used to have a thing called a Grant Enlarger. Do you? Okay, so it was like a big box with a black curtain, and there was like a lens at the bottom, and you put your Letraset catalog under that, and then you had to turn these wheels to enlarge it and focus it, and then you could draw it, trace it, and it was never perfect. So no matter how hard you tried, it was never perfect.
Nunca era perfecta.
Okay? So what you wanted was perfect, but you never had it. So when the computer came along, you had perfect. So what happened with the typography for us was that because it was never perfect, it was actually beautiful. Yeah. But we didn't know then. It was only later we realized. But yeah, the comics is where the typography, so it was like pow and bang and all these things. So I was drawing the comics lettering, and I was also using fonts on the computer, and it was, for a while, it was crashing together. But eventually it was like, now I remember, drawing it by hand gives it a beautiful feel. Yeah. It's never perfect, and that's right. Yeah. So it's the imperfections that make it beautiful, and it's funny because we didn't know that before the computer came along. We thought it was wrong. It was never perfect, but now we look back and we go, actually, it was perfect.